What's up, guys? It's been a while, but I have today a collection to show you. It's not my collection yet, kind of. I'm going through it now, but I bought a magician's collection from around my area. It was about an hour drive to them and an hour drive back, and I kind of knew it was a lot, but until I actually got it in hand, I didn't quite realize how much it was. I'm gonna, if my hand's in frame, my hand in frame?
Yes.
I'm going to put a number there. That's how many decks it was. I haven't counted it out yet. I would assume it's somewhere between 200 and 300. But whatever that number is the amount of decks here. So it's a lot. And I just wanted to kind of go through it all, let you guys know what I'm keeping, the things I'm excited about, and the things I'm kind of going to try to sell to hopefully make back the money I spent. So to start out with, go over some of the smaller categories. Here, firstly, we have books. So we have Hoyle book of card games, Play According to Hoyle, More Card Tricks Made Easy, Card Tricks Made Easy, 141 Magic Tricks by Sherman Ripley. And I'm sorry if me tossing this is triggering some of you guys. 101 Card Tricks by Marshall Brody, Magic of the Hands, and then Scarn's Magic Tricks. I don't know much about magic books. I might keep one or two, but I'll probably sell those as a lot because I'm obviously more of a cardist than a magician. But still, those are pretty cool. If you guys know if anything's valuable there, let me know, but I'm assuming they're all just like cheap $2 books that you could find on eBay. So we got a little bit of magic books. The other small category is in here in this little bucket. We have just unique shaped playing cards, and there's a ton of these. We've got fish ones, ones that look like dogs or cats, and a lot of these handle terribly, so I probably won't keep a lot of these. We also got the classic Arby's Mitt, everybody's favorite playing card deck. They also handle terribly. So most of these unique shaped ones handle terribly, but there are one or two that I want to point out. First off, we got the Bobs, the SpongeBob playing cards. These were made by Bicycle Playing Cards in 2006. They're die cut. They were made in China, so I don't think they were made at the normal factory, but these actually handle surprisingly well for what they are. They're not as good as a regular deck, but you can actually like fan these and somewhat use these, which is kind of fascinating. They also released a Spider-Man face version of this. So they had SpongeBob face and then Spider-Man face. I've tried to look online to see if there's other ones, and I don't think there are. If anybody knows, let me know, because I would love to pick up more of these because I think they're really interesting. And the fact that you can actually kind of use them for cardistry is really funny. And I would love to make some dumb videos with them at different points. The other section we have is going to be down here. This is the stuff I'm particularly excited for in these white boxes. I'm going to go over these in more detail later, but these are all kind of bulk Blue Seal playing cards. So bulk Bicycle, bulk Tally-Hos, all Blue Seals. One of the reasons I was interested in this collection is because it's all coming from that late 2000s, early 2010s kind of era, right before they switched to a different factory. Any deck with this blue seal was from the Norwood factory of Cincinnati playing cards before they moved to Erlanger, so they feel different than what is made currently. So I'm going to go over those in more detail soon, but there is old Illusionist decks, Theory 11 decks. There is a lot of really cool things in there. In this middle section here, we all have cards that I'm probably going to keep. There's some really rare stuff here and some stuff that I've never handled before. So like down here, these Squeezers and Steamboats, Mohawks, Torpedoes, Blue Seal Aladdins. These are all decks that I've never handled before that kind of have like a cult following. So I'm excited to try those out. I know some people really, really love those. We have some decks over here that I kind of grew up with. So when I first got into Magic, these like World Poker Tours and Studs, these are things that were popular then, so I'm really excited to kind of like have those as some nostalgic pieces for when I first got into Magic. And then all the way up here at the front, we have some high dollar volume stuff. So we have, I believe, V1 Smoke and Mirrors, and then we have V1 David Blaine Split Spades in red, blue, and black. We'll go over that in more detail later, but everything in this like kind of top row, besides the Pac-Man cards, those aren't valuable. But everything in this top row is kind of pretty valuable, and I might sell just to make back the money I spent on the collection. But there's a lot of good stuff in this middle section that we'll go over soon. And then in the bucket here is all the stuff that I'm going to try to sell to hopefully make back my money. There is a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of card games. There's a lot of cheap dollar store decks, but there's also good stuff. So there are, like for here, this Bicycle limited edition white. There's 4 of these, and I don't have any connection to these specifically, so I'm going to sell these because I know that they're worth probably 15 to 20 bucks. Similar thing with the Bicycle Pros. I don't really have any strong attachment to these, and I don't like the way they look. So a lot of stuff in here I'm just going to try to sell to make my money back. And there's good stuff in here too. Like there are unique colorways of bicycles in here, like some pastel colors. There's good stuff in here, but when you have this many decks, it's overwhelming. I already have 200 plus decks of cards, which is already more than I would ever probably need. So for this, I really had to make the decision that I'm not keeping most of it. I'm just keeping that stuff that is hard to find, expensive, those things that you just don't come across in the wild as much anymore. Nostalgic as well, yeah. So like some like these decks too, like I said, these aren't super expensive, but I have a lot of nostalgia, so these are arguably more valuable to me than some of the more expensive things. But there's just a lot here, a lot I'm really excited about, especially because, like I said, it came from that time frame when I was first getting into Magic in like 2013, and then that led to Cardistry shortly after. But we'll now take a little break, and then we'll go over those other things in more detail, those cooler things here shortly. So I got 7 of these boxes to go through. These are kind of like what I wanted when I bought this collection. These were the things I wanted, was to bulk up on blue seals. And in this first box, we have various vintage designs. So there are 9 total of these vintage design playing cards. We got Safety Back, Cupid Back, Tangent, etc. Sorry about the glares, but there are cellophanes on these, which is nice to have so many new blue seals like this. So I got 1 box of these vintage design playing cards. There's 9 of those. I've never used these before. I know they fetch a price of about like $20 each, potentially more. So I'm super excited to play around with them and see if I like them. If I don't, I could potentially sell them, but I think I will like them. I definitely like these vintage designs. I think they are cool to look at, and kind of like from a historical standpoint, it's cool to like research, some of these older decks and why they look so cool. What can we learn from them? So I got 1 box of blue, and then we also have a box of red ones. So I have 8 of these red ones in the same designs: Safety Back, Cupid Back, Thistleback. All of these, we have 2 colorways essentially, pretty equal distribution of both, and I'm excited to play around with those. Particularly, I really like the look of this Tangent back. Kind of makes me think of like a fancier Aladdin, but it'll be fun opening those up and just trying them. I'm really excited for it. And then in the next box, we have various Solitaire and Rummy and Spade decks from throughout the years. Most of them are red. They're all blue seal. I do particularly want to point out this Solitaire design. I've always loved this specific deck of cards. I've had a blue deck of this for a while, and I'm really happy to have some bulk of it because it feels really good, and it's one of my favorites. And there's just 7 of these, kind of different design, but they're all pretty similar in that they were made to play a specific game. So the faces might be a little bit different, but the feeling on these are super cool. And I just want to point out too, you might see some stickers on these. Like for example, this one, I don't know if that's going to come through on camera, but it says $125. So it was $1.25 for this deck when they bought it, but now it's probably worth like, I don't know, 15 bucks. I'm not super up to date on pricings, but blue seals usually can go 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, etc. So they're worth more for sure because they are no longer acquirable. It's just only old stock that's available now. All right, and next up we have a bunch of blue seal Riderbacks. There's various different types. Like we got bicycle seconds, which were kind of like things that had printing issues, but they feel the same. There's also a lot of these low vision playing cards. So these are bicycle Riderbacks, but they are low vision, so the faces are a little bit different. So people with, you know, difficulty seeing have an easier time. These all do say smooth finish. I don't know if that's going to come through on camera very well, but I don't know if that's a normal thing, if they feel different than the air cushion finish. It'll be interesting to open one of these and find out. But either way, there is about 9 Riderback blue seals here, so that's really cool to add to the collection. Cream de la cream, the very best of the best. We have blue seal Tally-Hos, and I am ecstatic about this. There's 10 of these. Some of them are Pinnacle, so they only have 48 cards, but most of them are just standard blue seal tallies. And these are my second favorite deck of all time, are blue seal tallies, so I'm ecstatic to have this many of them. I haven't talked about this on camera yet, but my favorite deck of cards has actually changed. My favorite design is still Tally-Hos Circleback, but these old studs have become my favorite cards now. And I just want to put that out there for the record. These old studs from like the 90s, they're goated. They're such a good feel. I still like Tally-Hos Circleback design better, and if I could get them to feel like this, it would be perfect. But these are my official favorite cards of all time now. No longer Circleback blue seals. But unfortunately, there weren't any in the collection of these studs. But I'm still happy with this for sure. The next section is Illusionist decks, and these are all, for the most part, first editions. They're UV 500 flows. They're very early editions, so we have Ghost playing cards. We have a couple of Black Tigers. We have some Viper Tally-Hos. Beautiful, beautiful decks. I've never had any of these before. I've been very familiar with them growing up. You know a lot about Illusionist when I was growing up. They're like the biggest company around. So having these now is super cool. And we got some Black Ghosts and Shadow Masters. So that is one of the boxes. And then in the second box we have even more Illusionist. So we have some of the vintage series ones, the 1800s decks of cards, which were just made to look super beat up and old. Kind of stupid, but also kind of awesome. We have Master Series, a red and a blue. And then also in this box, cuts off the Illusionist, and then we get some early Theory 11, which is super cool too. We've got some Centurions, some Guardians, 2 decks of Guardians, and then what I'm super excited about, Propaganda. Love this deck, and I never had one before. So cool. Next up, we have some blue seals. All of these are blue seals that I've never handled before, so I'm super excited about that. We got some Caravans. I've never heard of this deck, but I'm excited to give it a go. We've got some Texans, which I'm very excited about as well. Never held those before. We got some Mohawks. These say plastic coated, So that has me worried because I'm not a huge fan of plastic coated cards, but we'll definitely give it a try. And if any of these I don't like, I'll just sell the other one. You know, most of these are coming in pairs of 2 or 3, so if I try one out and I don't like it, you know, just sell one and make some of the money back. We got some Steamboats, Blue Steel Steamboat playing cards. 3 of those guys. Some Squeezers. Never had Squeezers before. These are very exciting to me. Some Torpedo cards, plastic coated again. A little worried, but excited to try one out. And then some Blue Seal Aladdins. Unfortunately, I'm dropping cards. Unfortunately, these are air cushion finish, but still really cool. This next grouping are decks that I had growing up. I had when I first got into Magic and Cardistry, so I wanted to keep them for nostalgia purposes. We have these plastic playing cards. These are waterproof, and in this collection there's also some of those that have different designs. I've only seen that one design, but I guess there are other ones. I only ended up keeping that one, but there are other designs, which was interesting. We also have these elephant Riderbacks. Had these growing up. Next up we have a Tragic Royalty deck, which notoriously handles really bad. We have a couple of studs, Blue Seal studs, not the old ones, but still good, still really, really good. A couple of World Poker Tours, and on the sticker it says $3. The stickers on these are all like $3 or less, so it's kind of funny how time has changed. Now it feels like every deck is like $10, $8 to $10. They used to be $3 to $5. It's a good time to be alive. We got 2 Eco Editions. In this last section, I'm going to go over the heavy hitters. V1 Smoke and Mirrors. Incredible. Worth way too much money. And 4 Split Spades. 3 first editions. A red, a black, and a blue. As well as one of these red ones. Those are extremely expensive, and I'll have to think about if I want to keep them or sell them. It's hard to justify having decks of cards that are worth $50 plus when you have the amount that I have. So they're super cool. It's going to be a tough decision. I don't know. What should I do? Let me know in the comments. So that was a collection video. Not my collection video completely. Some of this I'm going to keep. Some of this I'm selling, trading, giving away, etc. It's a lot to sort through. So I will do an updated collection video at some point. I have some incredible things behind me, some one-of-one pieces that I'm really excited that I haven't shown people yet. So that's really exciting. I'll get to that eventually, but I have so much to sort through with this that I hope this is a nice thing to hold you over until then. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a while since I've made an upload, so I really appreciate you guys being here and watching to the end. So hopefully see you guys again soon, but don't count on it. Don't count on it.